It's time for another episode of the Franchise Business Radio Show, broadcasting live from the Pro Business Channel studios in Atlanta. Sponsored by Franchise Intellect, a full-service franchise consulting and development firm. More info at franchiseintellect.com. Also made possible in part by Social Joey, the social media experts that provide a hyper-local presence for your franchise. More info at socialjoey.com. And now, here's your host, Pam Curry.
Hello, this is Pamela Curry, the host of Franchise Business Radio. And as our listeners know, this is a platform for bringing together franchise professionals and resources for the purpose of connecting, educating, and collaborating to serve the franchise community and franchise consumer. And we have a wealth of knowledge in the studio, so really looking forward to introducing our guests. Let me go ahead. I'm going to start off in the studio. And by the way, let me just preface this. These are not just faces for radio.
All right. Why are you looking at me when you say that? Yeah.
So go ahead and snap away.
Yeah, right.
Larry, welcome to the Franchise Business Radio Show. Give us a little intro on yourself.
Larry Duckworth. I'm a facilitator, coach, and also a co-area developer for the Alternative Board TAB franchise here in northern Georgia.
Really looking forward to hearing about that. And a little bit of, a little secret. Many moons ago, I looked into TAB. Mm-hmm. I love the business model and concept. So I'm looking forward to sharing with our listeners what that's about. Excellent. Eric, welcome to the Franchise Business Radio Show.
Hello.
Hello. I feel like we've known each other virtually, so it's so nice to put a face.
Finally get face to face.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
And I just want to share with our listeners, because a little bit about Eric here. Eric comes to us from Franchise Gator, and he has actually been with Franchise Gator since October of 2005. Started in sales and is now the general manager, a position he's held since January of 2014. Prior to that, he knows what it means to be in the role of a franchisee. He owned a tanning salon in Roswell, Georgia, and also worked for the corporate headquarters, helping to expand in the metro Atlanta area. So basically had a minor role in franchise sales, and admittedly so, a little bit of a man after my own heart, because he's from Philadelphia. Go Eagles, right? Love it.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. But they have. But you've been here since 2001. You currently live in East Cobb, married with 2 children and a gorgeous 11-year-old girl and 10-year-old boy.
Yeah, they're getting up there.
Yeah, they're probably keeping you busy too.
You know it.
Close in age. That's almost like Irish twins.
14 months. 14 months apart. They keep us busy. Yeah. The girl, the preteen years, they're making me sweat a little bit.
Yeah, lucky you. I remember those years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's kind of kick it off with sharing with our listeners about Franchise Gator. Tell us about Franchise Gator.
So we're a destination, online destination for those interested in investing in a franchise opportunity. We cater to 2 different crowds, essentially. The advertisers on Franchise Gator, those are our paying customers. These are the people who are looking to find new franchisees, looking to develop territories. But probably more of our focus and more of our passion lies in the people who are actually using the site, visiting this site. These are the people who are interested in entrepreneurship by way of franchising. So, we like to think of ourselves as a leading destination for those interested in buying a franchise opportunity. We have hundreds of opportunities to sift through, and you can sort through them by industry, by investment level, by geography, and we offer a wealth of information, a wealth of content to assist people on their journey, all in an effort to really just introduce them to opportunities that they might not otherwise come across. There's about 4,000 opportunities out there. They're not all on Franchise Gator, but to sit there simply with one search engine and try and find the right opportunity, it's not exactly going to be an easy tour for you. So we're one platform that helps you sift through a lot of the clutter.
Well said, and you're right. What if you're talking close to 4,000 concept brands out there over 75 different industry categories, and to be able to have a go-to portal to really sift through and identify, hey, what are some businesses that I might want to consider?
Yeah, and we'd like to tell people we're going to get you in front of opportunities that you might not have otherwise heard of. I think a lot of people drive up and down the street and they recognize a lot of the major brands that are out there, but that's the tip of the iceberg. As you know, like I said, there's 4,000 brands. Most people, if they sat down with a pen and paper, could probably name 10% of that.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't mean that there's not a whole wealth of other opportunities out there that might fit the bill for them.
So there's more to franchising than just fast food?
Absolutely. Go figure.
Imagine that. Well, let's talk a little bit about this. So how does someone know if a business is right for them?
Well, I really think there's a lot of factors, and it really just starts with passion. Are you passionate about the brand? And if we're talking specifically about franchising, that's what you're buying into. You're buying into a brand, an established brand. This is you're working with a team that has built a core product or service. And what they want is they want to expand that team by way of franchising, and so you're buying into a proven model, what is hopefully a successful model.
Absolutely.
And I believe that a prospective franchisee really understands if they're buying into the right opportunity. When the passion for that brand is there, and they think that they're working with the right team. The team makes all the difference in the world, and so. You do the proper research, and you talk with enough people who have also bought into that opportunity. And I believe, just genuinely, you're going to understand if this is the right fit for you or not.
Yeah, you said something really important there, I think, and I know people like to say location, location, location. I personally like to say leadership, leadership, leadership. Are you plugging into the right leadership and the right franchisee team? Let me say team.
We at Franchise Gator, we actually put together a top 100 every year, and I scour through hundreds of FDDs, and the top of the Franchise Gator top 100 is not really populated with truly unique concepts. These are concepts that have been around for a long time, whether it is fast food or quick service or printing, haircuttery. But what makes those concepts as successful as they are is the team that's in place. And those people have the right amount of passion that is infectious. And I think, when people start to look into that, that's really what they buy into. And I don't think it's a show. It really comes through when you dig into the numbers and you see how quickly they've expanded, and you talk to the other franchisees and how excited they are. That really does. That starts from the top.
Agreed. And to your point, franchising is such an incredible growth strategy, and you can't get more excited talent on your team than those that have invested in it and want to see it be successful.
Absolutely, and that's why the process of bringing on the right people is so important. If you get, I think we've all heard stories where someone brings in maybe someone who's not the right fit, and that has far-reaching ramifications. It really hurts the whole process, because if this one unit is not performing properly, as other prospective franchisees start to call around and get the story of this one franchisee, it hurts growth. And my point being that as someone is looking for a franchisee, understand that if the right leadership team is in place, they really are going to look out for their best interests. They say, I want to award franchises, not sell them.
Yes.
And the right team in place is going to award a franchise if this person is the right fit. Because if this person's not the right fit, as I said, it could be detrimental to the entire system. So understand that if you are talking to the right people, they are looking out for your best interest.
Well said. Real quick, so how do you know if franchising is the right path versus business ownership?
Well, that's a great question, and at its core, I think if you are able to follow direction and work within a system and understand that you are not 100% in charge of making all of your own decisions, and if you're okay with that and get excited about the brand that you are going to help grow, franchising is right for you. But you do really need to be honest with yourselves, because if you are a true entrepreneur in the sense that you really need to do things all on your own, then franchising is not going to be for you.
Yeah, and I appreciate your honesty there, because franchising is not for everybody. And it does require you to conform to some restrictive operating methods. And at the same time, that's the value of it, because you're being given the recipe book, right? You're being given those proven methods of operation to be able to follow.
Absolutely. If you want to open a McDonald's, but you have a passion for pizza as well, don't think that you can open your McDonald's and put pizza on the menu. And that's the reason why these brands are as widespread as they are, because someone is going into a McDonald's on the East Coast and on the West Coast and getting the same experience, and you got to buy into that. They will tell you at times how to spend your money, and we're talking redesigning your entire operation, for instance, because they're rebranding the name, they're rebranding the design. And that might come out from left field a little bit, but again, this is the system that you bought into. These are the things that you have to be prepared for if you're signing on as a franchisee. Absolutely.
So with that being said, let's talk about some of the benefits of franchising.
Buying into a system. The blueprint is out there. It is not 100% on the franchisor to see the success of the franchisee. There's a lot of hard work involved.
Oh, yes.
So don't think that you're going to be able to step in and just have every single day mapped out for you, and it's as easy as that. There's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of local marketing that goes into running a successful unit. But the blueprint is there, and if you follow the guidelines that's laid out for you, then more than likely you are going to see the level of success that you're hopefully buying into.
Absolutely. I kind of call it sometimes the franchise myth. I do think sometimes there's a false sense of, hey, if I just become a franchisee, then my customer acquisition will come. And that is not the case. You are still a small business owner, even though you're not an independent business owner. You are still a small business owner, and you do have it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think you really also have to invest in the community. And if you know how to tap into the community, that's going to be you're going to thrive. And this is why the franchisor is expanding via franchising, because they need people like you who have that passion. They're bringing that passion to the table, and they can exude that passion on a local level. That is much easier done by way of franchising, and so that's the value you're bringing to the table if you're a franchisee. But again, back to what are the benefits? You do have to really buy into that brand and really get excited by that brand. Those are the type of franchisees that really do thrive.
Agreed. So benefits, proven methods of operation that you're having the opportunity to license, the ability to be part of a brand
and
system.
You have a lot of people to lean on. Not just at the franchisor level. We recently did an interview with a franchisee at a concept called Wild Birds Unlimited. This is a shop that sells anything related to bird watching. It's fantastic. So when you think about unique opportunities, it doesn't get any more unique than that. But this is a fantastic franchise concept, very successful. When we talk about our top 100, this is a concept that I'm giving them a nice plug here. They rank very high, great leadership team. And I spoke with one of the franchisees, and she said it's unbelievable the amount of support they get, not just on the franchisor level, but from the other franchisees. These people who have been there before. So when you're talking about something as simple as a Facebook campaign, they're able to reach out to other people to find out what works, what doesn't work, or some other marketing on a local level, or really anything. And that is fantastic, and that's something you're not going to get if you go out on your own.
Well said. And economies of scale. We don't want to forget about the benefits of economies of scale, right?
Absolutely. And, the ability to expand within that brand as well is always an option. So you're not limited. I don't mean to make it sound like franchising has limitations as far as, buying into a brand and really not being off on your own. There are plenty of franchisees out there that have really expanded and grown territories beyond one unit. The multi-unit owner is a big facet of the franchising community.
Absolutely. And they're basically building their own little mini empire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things. So let's talk about some different types of franchises that are out there that may not be so obvious.
Well, you mentioned fast food, and that is the most obvious, right?
Right.
Beyond that, I mean, it really runs the gamut. In-home senior care is probably one of the hottest concepts that's out there right now, and there are a ton of concepts in that market right now. I think we all know that. It's a relatively low-cost opportunity to get into, and we know that the market that they're catering to, the baby boomers, that it's continually growing. So that's a fantastic opportunity to buy into. The Wild Bird Unlimited, that one to me, as far as unique, I mean, that one is always the best example as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there's opportunities out there, excuse me, in the pet industry, running from opening a pet store to actually, picking up dog waste on a lawn. That's an opportunity that's
Absolutely.
out there. In other words, I think whatever you're interested in, you're probably going to be able to find something that fits the bill. There's a kickball league out there, a franchise kickball league. Whatever your interests are, there's probably something to explore.
Yeah, there's a business model designed around it, and totally agree with you. And I always say, it's interesting because franchising is all around us. But to your point, as a consumer, sometimes you just don't have that same heightened awareness of what else out there, and that's the advantage of a Franchise Gator portal.
Absolutely. And I think if you start to explore and you really start to get in tune with it, you're going to see that these strip centers that are out here, 90% of them actually are populated by franchises, and you're going to start to say, you know what, I didn't realize that was a franchise. I didn't realize that was a franchise. It just starts to become pretty amazing how widespread the franchising world is.
Exactly. Yeah, that person coming to work on your lawn, do your roof, those window treatments, good chance it's a franchise.
Absolutely. If you're interested, just start conversations with these people. That's going to be your best route to understanding if it's the right path for you.
Excellent. So, Eric, if someone wanted to reach out to you and get in touch with you, what would be the best way to do that?
Well, if they are interested in buying a franchise, head to the site, franchisegator.com, and just start your search. It's free. All the information's free. We're going to put you in touch with the franchisor so you can really explore. We're sort of that first step. We'll give you just enough information to pique your interest. If you are a franchisor and you are looking to get in front of the audience, come to the site again, and there's some links there to get in touch with us as far as advertising. We're excited to bring you on board and help you get in front of that widespread audience.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And do you dare hand out your phone number?
Oh, sure. You can reach me directly, 678-748-3022.
What is that again?
678-748-3022. You can email me, eric.bell@franchisegator.com.
eric.bell@franchisegator.com.
ERIC. It sounds like it's spelled with a K, but it's ERIC. That's a joke. No one gets that.
But boom.
Yeah, exactly. Never really goes over well. I got to stop that.
I always give courtesy laughs no matter what.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Really wonderful to have you on the show, and I know our listeners appreciate just, hey, where do I even get started if I want to consider business ownership? Check out Franchise Gator.
Thank you.
A great place to start. We've got, speaking about the different types of franchise formats that are out there and the ability to maybe even build your own mini empire, we have another great guest who announced himself earlier. Larry, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
It's good to have you. Well, gosh, if you don't mind, I'd like to share a little bit about you.
Okay.
Okay, we've got Larry Duckworth, and Larry is partnered with George Rathman for TAB, Central Atlanta. And by the way, TAB is an acronym. It stands for the Alternative Board.
That's correct.
Larry is 35 plus years, a serial C-level executive of private and public companies, has taught leadership at 3 universities and for GE Equity, has an MBA, Beta Gamma Sigma National Business Honorary. You're really putting me to the test.
That's the Phi Beta Kappa business schools.
I cannot say that 5 times in a row. Obviously, you're an active business consultant, an executive coach, and I have to thank you for your service because I know you're a decorated U.S. Army veteran.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated. You have authored the Stop in Your Tracks, and help me out with this primordial leadership book. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, for actually about 40 years, I knew what people would do because your biggest intangible asset to business is the people. Its customers are people, partners are people, your employees are people, your families are people. The issue is how you have the best value for them, what motivates them. And I knew what to do, but I was always searching for why is that true. There's an old rule. A person who knows does a good job will always have a job. The person who knows the why of the job will always be the boss. So I was always searching for why. And someone put me on the neuroscience and sociobiology, and like, boom, there it was. Why we do what we do. So the book really goes into that far below the past writings by Maslow and others to really get into why people do what they do and then how to turn that into results for them. If you give them results, you get results. It's a very simple model.
Sure.
It's law of nature. So then the chapters go in how to do that. First two is about that issue, what is human behavior. Chapter 3 is about envisioning, because an envisioning leader will have followers even if he's a jerk. You know, they tell us, like Steve Jobs, apparently very hard to work for, but the guy had a great vision. People follow him right over a cliff.
Sure.
So envisioning is important. See where you want to go, and then values, etc. But then the rest chapter is what not to do, what to do, how to do it, and so forth. There's even a section of women leaders and so forth. Why the glass ceiling does exist, what it does to how to break that glass ceiling, how to have it work for you.
Oh, good. I'm definitely getting that book. You also have authored 6 expanding Amazon ebooks.
That's right. The publisher said, I want this to be about 270 pages. So, okay. I had written about 400 pages. But so what I did, and I respected that, is I went out and expanded some certain chapters into ebooks. All of them up on Amazon, all under the Primordial Leader banner. And B2B marketing, B2B selling, B2B sales management, strategic transformation, change management, and women leaders. There's a book on women leaders.
Wonderful. And as you know, this is a platform for education,
right,
as well. And, you know, you obviously you have a lot of ebooks that people are able to access. And I just want to be able to put that site out there. I have it as www. And I don't know if am I saying this like Primordial Leader?
Perfect. Yes. .com.
Wow. Okay, but let's spell that.
PRIMORDIAL leader, one word, .com. Up there are the PDFs of it. With Amazon, you can't have competing ebooks virtual, and so they have the ebooks. I have the PDFs, depending on what form the people want.
Excellent. Gosh, wealth of knowledge, and what a great resource. So let's talk about the alternative tab.
Okay.
Tell me about tab.
Well, the little backstory is that I was always brought in by venture capitalists, private equity group, public boards to get companies accelerated. So I'd get them up and out, basically what I do. And then I'd probably stay 6 months or a year to help the transitions. I say, okay, what if nothing else happens? I better start looking at franchises, right? I'm a big fan of the franchise model. You can start things from scrap, but all you got to do is pay for a lot of value if you buy a franchise, depending on what your hot button is, basically, because you're getting all this model, what not to do, how to do it, some marketing, some processes, and so forth. That's very valuable.
Absolutely.
And so if people just got to step up, all right, I'm going to pay for this and have all that value and get out of the gate very, very quickly. So I was looking around, and I really went after the business coaching world was my real sweet spot, right? Leverage what I do and what I love doing, as a matter of fact. And eventually, I looked at 2 or 3, and then Tab came to me after I'd left one company, kind of retired, semi-retired, and I really loved the model. I think they're the most meaty, real value providing of all the options out there in that category. Yeah. They have great tools to use. They're the largest advisory board facilitation, coaching, and consulting company in the world. have well over 3,000 members. The facilitators are really, really powerful. They help an advisory board share with each other. We keep it to about 8 to 10 people, so every meeting, everybody can bring an issue that they have, an opportunity or a problem. And the group with what I call firm love, not tough love, they really help them break it down into the parts, because always the issue is way down underneath what you think it is. And you really break it up and bring it down to that issue. Then they provide possible ideas. Then the owner, president, CEO can say, okay, I got 3 ideas. I'm going to do this one. The issue is they have to decide what to do. We're not going to tell them what to do. And then we meet with them coaching-wise later. And then if they need a longer-term consulting help, we'll do that too. But they have to come to us for that. We never pitch that. So we can help them along the full spectrum to be better. And it's statistically, they did a study that the TAB members have a 100% more growth than similar companies in the same SIC code. It's all about ideation. Nobody knows everything. Nobody's close to knowing everything, right? And you get into a tunnel of ideas, and TAB gets one out of that tunnel. And it has tools back there. And one thing I'm very proud of is if you almost every day on my email, I get a discussion board question from a TAB member in UK or from Alabama or whatever, saying, I've got a member who has this issue, et cetera. And then the next day, there'll be 22 comments to that.
Nice.
Ideas. It's a great infrastructure to have.
Absolutely.
You're really getting a lot of talent brought together for issue X and issue Y and what not to do and that type of thing. So that's really the TAB structure. I've since you had that bio, I've now been asked to be a co-area developer for North Georgia and East Tennessee, working with Bernie Moskowitz, a great friend who as part of the infrastructure that TAB puts in place to help franchisees be successful.
Now, let's back up a little bit. Talk about what a co-developer is.
I support the co-franchisees. I work with them. I coach them a little bit. I also help them recruit members. I also find new ones. We have a couple areas we're working on right now to add new franchisees. So it's a multifaceted role to help franchisees be even more successful.
Excellent. Yeah, and just for our listeners, there are different roles as franchisees: single unit, multi-unit.
That's exactly right.
And you're a developer. You have the developer format.
Exactly right. And they just came to me with that role, and I said, sure, I like to help people. I'm lucky. I've never met a happy taker or an unhappy giver. I can thank my parents for making me a giver. I like to help people, and that's a key issue for a big, successful TAB franchisee. You need to be a giver. You really want to help people. Some other criteria I use are do you have P&L experience? Because have you handled top line, bottom line, and everything in between? And I say it's not like having been in the military, that beast, but you've seen a lot of beasts, bad economy, needing money, can't get it, best employees lured away with double the pay type of thing, all kind of trauma, and you learn to absorb that trauma. And so by having seen that beast, kind of nothing scares you anymore. If a guy has a gun, I'll bring a bigger gun. It's just an attitude that you have having been in that seat and faced those pains and so forth. And that's a talent to pass on.
Sure, absolutely.
And it gives you a lot of confidence, because you're helping that member grow, et cetera. We do one of the free tools we do is a DISC assessment. You're probably all familiar with that. And I personally look at having a high D, high I profile. You're going to help them get results, but they're going to like it.
Yes.
Yeah, basically. So what we do is help them be successful.
I like it. And that high D is the driver influencer.
Exactly right.
I fall on the influencer side, by the way.
I could tell.
Oh, not obvious.
You have to learn to read those things, right?
I take that as a compliment, Pan. Yeah.
That's right. It was.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank God
Done.
for high eyes. That's right. They make the world go round.
Thank you. Well, obviously, yourself and TAB as an organization helps owners, presidents, and CEOs to better grow their business.
Right.
Help me understand, how does TAB help the business better contribute to personal goals?
Well, we have a great question. We have a metaphor called a bicycle, and we use it all the time. The front wheel is where you want to go in personal life. The back wheel is your business propulsion, and they have to support the front wheel. And we use that all the time in who we are. We really care about personal things. It's amazing in these meetings because we're all just family, etc. Half the issues come up are personal issues. I won't go into what they are, but we sit there and we sort from our heart how to help them deal with better relationship with their siblings, with better relationships with their spouse. The business is really causing some problems type of thing. And we spend a lot of time on that because that's part of that bicycle metaphor. We really care about that. And so I say, now you got that bicycle, now look at there's one for a person right behind you pumping also. That's called the facilitator. And then 7 or 8 others behind that pumping also. That's the other members of the board. So it gets you up those hills you're going to encounter. You will encounter hills as a CEO, president, or owner.
And that's when you need some drafting.
Exactly right. And some power. Everybody's got a sprocket. They're pushing with you, right?
Then you have the tricycles and the Harley Davidsons too, right?
We won't even get into those new motorized skateboards,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Get a helmet on. Get a helmet on.
Oh, so nice. What else would you like to share with our listeners?
Well, the issue is if you're going to go into franchise, this is the thing. Understand that the model has a lot of value. You have to assess how much versus the cost, et cetera. Pick the one that's emotionally the best for you. If you like what you do, it's not work. Basically, this happens to be what I like to do. Okay, it's like getting to play football for me. I go out and hit somebody, it's just fun. I don't have to worry about getting up in the morning. I want to get up in the morning and go, type of thing, and then follow the model they lay out because that model's proven. The mistakes are taken out, the type of thing, just go out and the final thing is whatever you do in business, help others. There's a law of nature. If you give, you get. Don't even give to get, just give to give. Everything else takes care of itself.
Yeah, err on the side of abundance and generosity.
Exactly right.
Not scarcity. Very well said. If someone wanted to get in touch with you, how would they go about doing that?
Email larry.duckworth@thealternativeboard.com or myself, 404-307-0033.
And go ahead and repeat both of those.
Larry.duckworth@thealternativeboard.com, 404-307-0033.
Wow.
Eric wants to know if that's spelled with a C or a K. Both in his case.
Yeah,
Sorry, Eric, I'm stealing your material there. Yeah.
I promise it doesn't work as well as you think it does.
It's all in the delivery, man, yeah.
Okay, we got a bunch of comedians in the studio. Wannabes.
And again, looking at me, yeah. One day. It's not a wannabe, it's one day, yeah.
I think, Rich, you need to become a member of TAB and really understand what your vision should be.
Sounds good to me. I'm sold, whatever, yeah.
I'll give you $1 if I haven't done. We help people help themselves.
Love it.
That's really what we do.
I mean, I just love that premise where collective minds can kind of gather. I've had several conversations with George. He's been in the studio, and in that comfortable environment. But also, sometimes you're in a bubble as a business owner, right?
You are.
And you have your team members, you have yourself, but it's that think tank mindset. And all you need is probably just 1 or 2 takeaways that could be a game changer for your business. Yes or yes?
We always get in the bubble. It's 100% guaranteed you get in your own bubble. Yeah. It's human nature. It's there's reasons in the book why you do that. But the issue is that bubble is the danger. Yeah. You're self-limiting. And so this process is a very warm but kind of direct. We stress accountability. If you say you're going to do something, we'll meet with you halfway between that and next meeting and help you that. But you come back and report back to the group. Hey, I said I was going to do this, and I didn't, or I did, or I did even better. That accountability, what Jack Welch said, is what gets measured gets achieved. And so we really stress. But it's not tough love. It's firm love. You got to go back and say, I did it, or I screwed up, or whatever. We don't care what the answer is as long as you're accountable.
Pure exchange and accountability.
Exactly
go
right.
Really far. Excellent. Well, believe it or not, we have another guest in the studio that I did not announce earlier because it's kind of a surprise announcement. And we are super excited to have Social Joey back in the studio. let me go ahead. We've got two folks from Social Joey, Mike and Ken. Mike, would you go ahead and just introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey guys, this is Mike. Oh, is it on? Okay, I just can't hear myself. Sorry. That's the best part about talking is getting to hear yourself. So no, but I'm Mike McDowell, I'm the general manager at Social Joey, and glad to be here and excited about the announcement, I guess, that you'll make shortly. So.
Yes. Yeah. Don't be stealing my thunder.
I won't.
Don't steal my
She'll
thunder.
take you outside or whatever.
That's right.
I'm small with a big stick. And Ken.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
morning.
I am Ken Douglas and work with the team at Social Joey on the business development side of the house. So
Yes.
excited to talk to folks about social media, how we can help improve and generate some results for them.
Great. Well, let me just go ahead and make the big announcement, and then I'd like to dive into a little bit more about Social Joey as well. Social Joey is now formally the sponsor of Franchise Business Radio Show. And woohoo! Applause.
This audience is going out of control here. Where the stadium show up, whatever. Yeah.
I was like, I see the iPhone lighters.
Well, we have
They're
quite
lighting up
a
everywhere.
in celebration of the event. We have quite a few people joining us in our gallery here. But Social Joy, I mean, I think they brought their own arena here. Yeah. Well, that's what they do in social media, right? Yeah, get it out to the masses.
We stopped by SunTrust Park on the way. They said there were some Uber people sitting down there. Nobody showed up. We just brought them with us. So.
And to that point, Rich, you're right. I'm just talking about the guests. We have a lot of observers in the studio right now, and it's almost like how many people can fit in a telephone booth, right? We're like, here we are. No,
as long as they didn't bring their bicycles, we're okay. Yeah,
exactly. Again, though, we're just super duper excited about Social Joey sponsoring Franchise Business Radio Show, and let's go ahead and tell us a little bit about Social Joey.
Yeah, so we talked about this, I know, on the last show a little bit, but one of the things, I guess, that makes us unique is our partners and the people that founded our company are actually franchisees, master franchisees with American Family Care. So our company was really built out of a need, more than anything, that they had as master developers for the Tennessee I guess East Tennessee market. I guess a lot of franchises have done a great job of branding themselves corporately, but a lot of them haven't taken that step down to the franchisee level, and so a lot of times they're forced on their own to find content and post every day. And they said, this is a lot of work. It takes a lot of time to do this, and so they partnered with a PR firm that they were working with for their development and things, and our company was born really, and it's unique because we come from the franchise background, right? It's not that, we were just some media conglomerate and said, hey, social media is the newest thing. We have experience building brands and building franchise locations at that franchisee level and also at the franchisor level. And so for us, we looked at the challenges that we were experiencing and said, let's create a product or create a company really with a product that solves the problem that we're having, because if we're having the problem, everybody's having the problem. And so that's just kind of a 10,000 foot quick, summary of where we are, and excited about the market. Love the franchise space. We've been doing it for a long time, and excited to be able to serve the industry from the supplier side, which is the newer part for us. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit on something there. I think so many businesses arise from trying to fix a problem, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And also sometimes I think we learn by experience, obviously. Yeah. But when something's missing, it's all the ahas go off, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So why did you decide to sponsor Franchise Business Radio?
Yeah, so one of the things that really hits home for us, we've been a part of the franchising world for a while, as I said, with franchisors, franchisees, and the franchise community just does such a good job of talking about helping others and serving the community itself. There's all these different ways to get involved, helping with IFA and different things, some of the political drives that they do. There's just always something going on that talks about serving and giving back to the franchise community. And when we came on last month and we were talking about everything and we saw what you guys were doing, we were just inspired because we see it as an awesome opportunity, because the thing we hear from franchisors, whether they're in California or Florida, it's always, man, we just have such a difficult time getting in front of the right audience and having that platform. And so when we were sitting here, and I think it was Shoney's that was with us, and she was talking about how cool it was to have a platform like this to be able to share with people who are looking for business opportunities and looking for franchise opportunities, and with the captive customer base and listener base and podcast base that we have with the show, it was just an awesome opportunity that we saw, again, a need of them needing a platform, and a service like this is so valuable to that franchisor to be able to just say, here's who we are, here's what we do. And then on the supplier side as well, being able to get your story out there, because that's, it's so intimidating walking into IFA the first time and you see all these massive booths and all these people that are spending, I mean, really, and everybody's kind of laughing, but it's almost intimidating when you walk in as the new guy on the street. And this is really that step into, hey, I can tell you what I do. And there's people that are listening and they care about what the content that's being produced on this show. And being able to provide a channel like that for people into the franchising space was big for us, because we went through those struggles, right? It's intimidating walking in and seeing, constant contact to, it seems like every time you look at them, it's like, God, they have just an unlimited budget. What is going on right now? But you look at a lot of these places and you're like, how am I ever going to get my name out there? And we just see this as an awesome platform and an awesome opportunity for suppliers, for franchisors to be able to share their message and get in front of the people that they care about. So.
Excellent. Very much a relational community.
Yeah, for sure.
It really is. Well, tell us a little bit about what is it that you do for franchisees?
Yeah, so probably, again, the challenge that we talked about was, you've got these franchisees who are running their business and they're following the models and they're doing the things they're supposed to be doing as franchisees, but a lot of times, unless they have the budget to hire somebody internally to run social media, it's really become its own kind of animal, right? Like you've got marketing, and then it's like social media is almost like its own animal in that. And so a lot of people are looking at that and saying, do I need to hire another person, and pay them a salary and benefits and all this stuff just to handle Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and YouTube and all this stuff? And for us, we looked at that and we said, at the franchisor level, that's probably possible. At the franchisee level, a lot of times it's not feasible. And so we created the company because there wasn't a lot of people that could actually create the content for companies at that local level. A lot of franchisors will do a good job of pushing stuff down at the franchisee level, but somebody's still got to log in and post it, right? And
that's right.
And that's been the heavy burden that we have brought to the market and said, hey, we can take care of that for you, whether it's corporate driven and they're handing us content to distribute and localize, or whether it's, hey, we need to create this from scratch and post it at the local level. That's really been the thing that we've been able, I think, to provide to the industry, and specifically to the franchisee, is that support system.
And I guess, again, we sometimes have to remind ourselves that franchisee is a small business owner.
That's right.
And it's really difficult to wear all of those hats.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think along with that, I love the fact that you point out that they are a small business owner. Probably one of the most difficult things and one of the biggest challenges we hear from franchisees is it's so hard for people to understand that I'm not some conglomerate, right? I'm a local guy. I feed my family from you coming in and letting me cut your grass or you said play kickball, right? Like this is how I'm feeding my kids, right? Yeah. And I'm here and I'm in this community and I'm a part of the local chamber of commerce. I'm not just some big guy in the sky and corporates funding this whole thing. And so getting that message out there is important, and because people care about, there's been this big movement with millennials of buy local, right?
Right.
And that's only going to get more important in presenting those franchisees as that. We are local. Just because we have a big brand name doesn't mean I'm not the local guy in your community. And social media is a really great platform to get that message out there specifically, because you can cater the content to, hey, we've got this craft fair going on in our little downtown market, right?
Yes.
And that's probably the thing that we see such a strong benefit for the franchisees from, is being able to get that local message out there. So.
Yeah, and if they're not maximizing these social media sites, well, they don't have a presence.
Right, yeah.
And
Yeah, it's I think we talked about it last time, right? Like,
Right.
Facebook's already created the pages. They're
Right.
already sitting there, and they're either unclaimed and people are writing on them. And so somebody's got to do something with it. And,
Right.
and that's the fear for us is like, man, we've got all these awesome brands with an awesome story to tell.
Right.
And you've got an opportunity to do that, and it's taking advantage of that for sure.
maximizing it. You've got a platform to use and to do it and to create that presence. And,
That's right.
Yeah, and I will say this as a small business owner myself. I admittedly so. It's just so overwhelming to have to also manage that part of the business, and then to make things even a little bit trickier. The internet is constantly changing. Google, so it's not just even managing, let's say, the pages. It's understanding what's going on in the background and keeping up with all the new algorithms that are coming out.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Lord, my head's spinning just thinking about it. Well, you know what? We know there are a lot of suppliers in the franchise space. What makes Social Joey unique?
Yeah. So one of the things we run into a lot of times when we're talking to brands is, oh, well, I have a PR firm, right? And they're doing my social media, and we're not. I think one of the most things that I say over and over and over again, I guess, is, we're not in competition with them. We're never going to be Scorpion, right? Like, they're an awesome brand. We work with them on a lot of accounts. We're never going to be that super high-end PR firm that's going to come to your location and shoot custom video. That's not the space that we're trying to provide service in, and that's really been the biggest thing is we're there for support for the franchisees, and that's really the thing that we've seen that's been our unique value prop. A lot of those bigger companies, they can't service that kind of volume because you'd have to hire 200 employees to write that much content, and we've already got that structure and that foundation in place, and so there's some pieces that we can provide that we don't really see a lot of other suppliers even going down that route because they care about serving corporate and doing their, and that's okay, and that's a thing of its own, and we don't want to compete with that, or we're not trying to get into that space. What we care about is there's franchisees all over the country that want that same kind of service. They want that same level of branding on social media, that same level of advertising on social media. And most franchises are not in a place where they can support that at the local level. And that's our really unique value prop in the industry is we can take care of it because they don't have time to post. They don't have time to learn the algorithms, like you said, and Facebook Ads Manager and Business Manager and locations and claiming their Google My Business. They don't have time to deal with all that. Right. And we're a support system that can come in and honestly probably at way too cheap of a price, but at a really low cost for that franchisee and be able to take care of that so they never have to lift a finger, never have to think about it. Nice. And it's going to run every day for them. And they know it's going to be professional. They know it's going to be right. And it's going to give them a strong brand. So.
Absolutely. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you, learn a little bit more specifics about your services and packages, how would they go about doing that? Yeah,
so Ken would probably get really angry if I didn't give you his email address instead of mine. But so probably the easiest way is to email Ken, and it's just Ken, Ken, with a K, not a C. That joke, we're going to help you. It's going to get traction.
A lot of mileage. It's going viral already. Yeah, we don't know why. But yeah.
But it's Ken, Ken, at socialjoey.com. You can check out our website. Again, there's a contact form there, our phone number, and everything will be listed there, socialjoey.com. And you can get the basic information. The pricing's there, the packages are there, and what it looks like for franchises and things like that. So that's probably the easiest way. If you want to email me, feel free. It's Mike, Mike, at socialjoey.com.
And and I don't know why, I just like that name, Social Joey. It's just so easy to remember. I guess that's it. And of course, I know we're in the radio, but of course, you got the little logo, the kangaroo logo as well. Ken, do you have a phone number you would like to put out there to our listeners?
Absolutely. 423-987-6311. And just to build a little bit on what Mike said earlier about the opportunity to serve.
Yes.
And that's what attracted us to this opportunity to help sponsor the show and to build on what Larry said. A lot of times I'll come across franchises who are in desperate need of social media, and I want to educate. I want to help them. get their social media in space. And if we're not the company, or if it's not the right time for them to work with us, let me give you some tips and techniques so you can do it right.
Yes.
And they always come back later.
Yes.
And end up being a customer of
Yep.
social. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. So
Right.
we want to educate. We want to serve those folks in this space.
Well, I obviously, when we were first talking about you being a sponsor of the Franchise Business Radio Show, one thing was extremely clear was we had the same philosophy of what we were trying to achieve. And as you know, this platform is really designed to bring franchise professionals and resources together for the purpose of connecting, educating, and collaborating to serve the franchise community. So obviously, it's a good little marriage, and I'm and I'm happy to have you a part of the Franchise Business Radio Show. Thank you for that. Thank you. Wow, what a great show. I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for being guests on the Franchise Business Radio Show. And just to sort of wrap up, I do want to just go around the studio. And if you could please provide, again, your name, your company, and the best way to reach you. And we're going to pop over to Eric with a C.
With a C. No one's going to forget that.
No.
So it's franchisegator.com, franchisegator.com. That's the website. You can always reach me at 678-748-3022 or eric.bell, eric.bell at franchisegator.com. And thanks again for having me. The guests were fantastic. Great information.
Great. Thank you. Larry.
Larry Duckworth with the Alternative Board, or TAB. We're always interested in franchisees and members of different advisory boards. If you have interest in either, give me a call at 404-307-0033. My email is larry.duckworth@thealternativeboard.com.
Excellent. So happy to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you.
And Ken.
That's very simple. Ken, K-E-N, at socialjoey.com, and the phone number is 423-987-6311.
And Mike.
And Mike McDowell with Social Joey, Mike, M-I-K-E, at socialjoey.com. And you can call me if you want, 423-584-1544.
I think he's looking for friends to chat with on that drive back home.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we sat in traffic for a long time this morning, so yeah, it'd be nice to have some company.
Welcome to hot Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah.
So from Chattanooga to Atlanta, and so how would folks get in touch with you, Pam?
Yeah, for anyone who's interested in obviously looking at franchise ownership, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Obviously, I have access to a lot of incredible resources that will really be able to help you navigate those waters of a franchise selection. The best way to reach me is 847-970-8765. And, of course, you can always send me an email. Email is pam@franchiseintellect.com. And, Eric, I'm going to play off of you. I always feel like I have to spell intellect. It's intellect with an I, NTELLECT.com. So pam@franchiseintellect.com. And thank you very much for all of our listeners and supporters of Franchise Business Radio.
Absolutely. Before we roll out the jingle here, just share for a moment how you help people, what's in your wheelhouse, and explain your role if you take just a minute.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Really what my role is I am an independent franchise consultant, and I specifically work with individuals who are considering franchise ownership. Easiest way to think about it is I am a business matchmaker. And, if anyone is looking at franchising, please give me a call. I also do some consulting specific with franchisors and am very effective on the training side and really kind of helping them put some infrastructure in place and assisting in some areas of training as well.
And if you don't catch her in Atlanta, you spend half your time in Charleston, so either one. Right?
That's right. I need friends to chat with on the drive.
All right, nice. So everybody's, it's called Windshield Radio. Yeah, that's our next show, yeah. We'll see you guys next time, but check out the brand new outro with Social Joey. Check it out.
Thank you again for joining Pam Curry and her guests on the Franchise Business Radio Show, sponsored by Franchise Intellect, a full-service franchise consulting and development firm. More info at franchiseintellect.com. Also made possible in part by Social Joey, the social media experts that provide a hyperlocal presence for your franchise. More info at socialjoey.com. Use the social media links here to share today's show, and check out more episodes at franchisebusinessradio.com.